Hello, hello. Guess what? It is just me today. Chris is at his appointment. He might be back later, but probably way later. So I'll try to go for an hour or so if I can. I feel like my voice is going out, and we might do an early one today. Anyway, what's up? Happy Thursday, unless you're in Australia, and then it's probably Friday. Anyway, happy day, and let's see. I don't know if I have much. I think I might have a few tweets. Let me check. Well, this is kind of interesting. I'll show you this. These are faculty members who found it more acceptable for students to use illiberal tactics to stop a speaker than their older colleagues. Age, if they're left-leaning and under 35, I thought it would be higher. Oh, wait. Shouting down a speaker, only 23% say it's never acceptable. Right-leaning, it's 88% says it's never acceptable. Where's the ones over? I want to see if they have the ones over 35 to compare it to. 41% think it is always, sometimes, or rarely acceptable for students to physically block other students from attending a speech. See, that just, we didn't do that kind of stuff in my generation, or you didn't hear about it if we did. So something changed between my generation and the one after it to even make these numbers as high as they are. Oh, sorry, this is the right tab. Yeah, that's wanted to see if they're over 55. It's this dark blue line of people who say it's never acceptable. So the line got smaller and smaller as we moved up the generations. The gray is 36 to 45. And this turquoise, aqua, teal, whatever, is 35 and under. So you can see it's getting more and more okay to use violence to stop speech, to block other students from attending the speech, and to shout down the speaker during their talk to prevent them from speaking. So that's what we're up against. One of the things generationally. Let's see. Oh, hang on. I think I had a few more tweets. Oh, yeah, I've been wanting to show. No, yeah, hang on. This one for a while. Hang on, let me find it. It's about conspiracy theories. This guy says, if you consider that the drug cartels control Biden, the judiciary, and most of Congress, so there's always some hidden, invisible group controlling everything. And that's why we're getting a border policy that 80% of us don't want. So that's their inference from the border policy, is that the cartels must be controlling Biden. It's pretty simple when you view it from that lens. It is simple. It's very simple, simplistic, overly simple. Our government is not for the people or by the people. So Russell says that idea seems facially absurd to him, and then they go into why. Because government officials never take bribes. Hell, we have a sitting senator on trial now for that very thing. Or is it just because this concept threatens your worldview and changes the very concept of what a barrister, I thought those were in England, is supposed to do? No, because the larger the scale and coordination of a conspiracy, the more difficult it is to pull off. And I do not think drug cartels have the resources necessary to buy the U.S. government. I could buy individual politicians, being in their pocket, but not the whole system. Okay, then we have the conspiracist view. When motives align, cooperation is not only possible, but in everyone's best interest. That's a big assumption right there. Concentration of wealth means that just a few people cooperating together can set policy for us all. I've never seen that connection demonstrated to me. And yes, the drug cartels, including Big Pharma. So now Big Pharma is thrown in with the drug cartels, and they're included in this group running things. So they're one of the actors now. Have plenty of money to buy officials. It only takes a single defector, and increased scope of a conspiracy brings with it increased infamy if you shed light on it. And again, the drug cartels could buy individual politicians. That seems pretty non-controversial. What I don't buy is that they can buy the whole system. So that's kind of some of the same. The patriarchy. No, I don't believe the patriarchy. I wish we had a patriarchy. Who bought the Mexican government off? Come on and tell us about it. You think they can buy the U.S. government like they bought Mexico? I don't think they can. I think it's too big and too decentralized in the sense of the three branches and the checks and balances. I can ask the AI. What can you tell me about the Mexican, specifically, drug cartels, and what is it? Buying off the Mexican government. But that's still doesn't say if you think it can happen here. Let's see what the AI says. Well, it does say it's a complex and controversial issue. There is no doubt that cartels have significant influence in some parts of the country, and there have been numerous documented cases of corruption involving government officials. However, it's difficult to say definitively how widespread the problem is or how much control cartels truly have over the government. And this would be my sense of it just on its face from hearing the question. It's always, for me, a question of scale and extent. And these other simplistic conspiracy narratives are so totalizing and reductionist. There's lack of reliable data. It does suggest that cartel infiltration is a significant problem. It doesn't say they bought off the government. They said it's too hard to tell where the corruption begins and ends. What is panel? That's when you come up and we fight. I mean, discuss. Have rational conversations that don't even pretend to be civil. Is the sky blue? Yes, but how blue is it? It's debatable. Well, then we get into just semantics and framing. If you want to call that buying off the entire Mexican government, war is where. The panel's here. Well, I guess it's in the comments right now. But any of you can come on up. Chris is not able to make it today, so it's just me. Who is Sterling? Hi, Sterling. All right, don't porn bomb me or anything. What's up?
I won't. Don't worry. What's up, man? It's Jeff, right?
Yeah. How's it going?
Everything's good. I think we've been on a panel or two before. You know, sometimes it's hard to get a word in.
It's yeah. That does sound like we frequent the same panels.
Yeah. But I heard you talking about the cartel. I was only listening for like a.
Yeah, like to what extent can wealthy individuals or corporations truly buy the government versus buying influence through individual politicians here and there?
I don't know. I guess it's kind of splitting hairs a little bit to me. And it's different in every country, I suppose. And the way I feel like corruption is the same in every country, just the way they go about it is different, and who's paying who, and it's a little bit different. But there's corruption everywhere. Hello.
Yeah, I assume a small bit of corruption everywhere as well. Not
Yeah,
even in government, just any system, like large scale system. But
sure.
it's I, maybe it's my faith in the United States or my naive belief in this. Maybe if I idealized this a bit, but I just can't see it happening here the way they describe it.
The way
Like they
how
say it's
how did
happening in Mexico,
how did they describe it?
that they bought off the government of Mexico. Like I can't see somebody buying off the entire United States government.
Well, yeah. Again, I can see the cartel. Well, I think they all work probably hand in hand. The cartel, the Mexican government, the United States government, big pharma. It's all hand in hand. I'm sure. But I guess it just means what you would define as buying off. I mean, for example, even here in our country, there's certain politicians who've received 7 digits from big pharma, and as it turns out, they're very vocal. Those same ones are very vocal against, like, Medicare for all or socialized medicine.
I do agree that money in politics is potentially a big issue.
You're coming in and out of the microphone.
Hmm.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Let me check my microphone. It's the same setting. I said that
Or maybe it's just me.
all my
I just did.
settings are.
Yeah, just that last little phrase. I didn't hear it.
Let me try to remember it.
Oh,
um, Something about the cartels and buying influence.
well, I mean, sure. I think probably the cartel does in Mexico and Latin America. A lot of what
Oh, you said about the pharmacy reps that they donate all this money and then a bill gets passed that's in their favor.
what I was saying was that, like, for example, well, I could name names of people who in the House or the Senate who've accepted 7 digits from Big Pharma, and it just so happens that they are against Medicare for all. Is what I was saying.
And you're connecting it to this big giant donation they receive.
Yeah.
What are the? I don't know the existing laws around that. It seems like we would have some kind of regulation of it.
I'm gonna get a drink, and I'd love to talk to you about this.
Okay. You seem like you're always sick, iPhi. Is it the bronchitis again?
Oh, no, no, no.
I feel like I'm getting scratchy. I hope I didn't catch anything from any of you. No. the,
Sorry, what did
the
you say?
tribe has spoken. Oh, you
Um,
have long COVID? Damn.
oh, you're reading comments. I was confused.
Yeah, so like how the you were saying you connected to that donation, and I said there's probably laws or regulations around. It don't seem like they can get away with like blatant open corruption that way without some kind of regulation.
Well, you might. You're partially right. I believe you're in a lot of ways you're right, but in our country, I feel like, and I'm not an expert on really anything, but I feel like in our country we've legalized bribery, and so the way that they do it is with these super PACs. So like the laws are very strict about how much a person, an individual, or a couple can donate to a politician or their campaign. But the law, like, there is no limit on how much you can donate to that person's super PAC. Not only is there no limit, they don't have to report where the money came from. So, you know, in that way, I feel like that's legalized bribery in a lot of ways.
How can you guarantee that they're gonna? act on your wishes just because they got a donation. I mean, it's not an unreasonable assumption,
Right.
but how can you guarantee, like, if I give you this $7 million or whatever, that I'm going to get the thing that I want done?
A lot of times it's the thing that they don't want done. You know, don't introduce this bill in front of the Congress. You know, and if so and so does, don't co-sign it. And you can raise your hand on the podium and say that you're for it, but if the bill ever came for it, we're expecting you to vote no, or be absent, or somehow. And I do, and I can't prove that to you, but from what I hear in the Washington insiders, those deals are hammered out crystal clear. Like, here's what we're going to give you, here's what you're going to do for us, and I don't doubt it. It doesn't make sense to me.
Is that just normal politics?
When you say normal, it's par for the course. Is it acceptable in the sense of it's normal? No, shouldn't be.
Well, there would have to be incentive to change it, like some kind of political will somewhere. And if it's working for everybody and they're happy with it, and they get the back scratching that they need from it, that
The
will may
problem
not
is, what was that?
that will may not be there if it's
The
working.
will's not there. The will's not there, but at the same time, it's not working for the people. You know, people can't afford their medications. People people die because they can't afford insulin. So it's not working. But you're right. There does need to be some sort of motivation. I don't know what sort of revolution or whatever you want to call it needs to happen. But for some reason, they're really good at giving us just what we need so that we don't revolt against them.
I wouldn't even know who to revolt against.
I don't have their addresses and social security numbers, but you know what I mean? Like, generally speaking, top 1% is where I directed at,
Like anybody with a certain amount of money.
pretty much.
Oh.
I'll tell you who to revolt against.
Okay.
You revolt against the immoral, authoritarian socialists.
Who would those be?
The people running the government.
Like you have names and addresses? Yeah, I was part of Occupy for a little while.
Congress, the
So
executive
all of
branch.
Congress just instead of voting them out of the ballot box, just go revolt against them.
Can you vote them out?
Yeah, I've seen
Try it.
Congress people get voted out.
Try it. See if you can get rid of Pelosi. See if you can vote her out.
Well, her district might be safe, but all of them wouldn't be. That's
Or
where you have to be. You have to be strategic and tactical about it.
why did Sterling leave? Does he not want to talk about it anymore? Come back, Sterling.
He's still there.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm doing laundry, so.
Oh, okay.
No,
I thought you just
He's
didn't want
being
to talk
polite.
yeah, I'm listening. But yeah, no, I love talking about this kind of stuff.
Okay,
Even though
well,
I don't-
authoritarian socialists, there's your enemy
Yeah, those are the people you need to get out of
to
power.
revolt against.
Okay.
Even though we already have a method for getting them out of power.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. You're probably right. I don't know.
I don't think cartels are running this country, though. They got better things to do.
I spent 6 months in Colombia last year, and when I was down there, people would ask me where I was from, and I would say the States, and they were like, "Oh, it's dangerous there, no?"
Yeah, it's getting more dangerous.
And it was just weird because it was the same reaction that people gave me when I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go down to Colombia for 6 months and get my head on straight." Like, well, Colombia, it's dangerous there, no?
And
So
they said the States is more dangerous?
I'm sorry, say that again.
They said the States is more dangerous?
They didn't say that, but the people's reaction when they found out or back home when they found out that I was going to Colombia. Was, oh, that's going to be dangerous. And then when I got to Colombia and they found out I was from the States, they're like, oh, isn't it dangerous there? Yeah, it's like they think the same about us as we kind of do about.
Well, have you been
my
to
God.
Chicago? I mean, it's not exactly safe there. I wouldn't live there. Or any blue state, for that matter. They're all dangerous. I think we can all agree on that fact.
Well, I'm trying to leave because it's boring, not so much because it's dangerous. Seattle, like the cities, might be.
You don't remember that whole Chaz fiasco?
Yeah,
That was pretty
yeah, that was in
dangerous.
Seattle. Yeah, that was 5 blocks from my place.
Weren't they like setting the police station on fire and shit? I mean,
Yeah.
that's not exactly safety.
They took over the police station and ran them out.
See, like I said, even cartels have standards. You know, they don't like burn down the police stations. They just like, you know, buy them out and stuff. You got to have order or it's just pure chaos.
Well, I'm okay with a certain amount of chaos, but I rely on individuals to be
I think we've
mature
got too
enough and
much.
adult enough to maintain order.
I think we've got too much chaos now, Jeff. I think we need to move the
Oh
throttle
no,
back a few
this is
notches.
nothing. Not since George Floyd, anyway.
Oh yeah, there you go. BLM.
You had like when the Israel thing started, you had a little bit of
You
Palestinian
gave a good
protest.
example, Jeff. BLM burning down black-owned businesses. That's too much chaos.
Yeah,
Because now you just gone full retard. So you know
yeah,
that
but we haven't been
you're not
anywhere near there.
constructing anything at that point. So
We
can we
haven't-
talk about the virus, or is that still off topic?
Talk about the what?
The virus.
Vigorous?
The virus.
Oh, I don't know. People say it is, but I've never had anything happen so far.
I
This
just
is
wanna
not a
know if we're
medical channel. This is an entertainment show.
Yeah, I'm not giving health
None of
advice.
us know shit about anything we're talking about. Don't listen to us. Don't take any information from us.
So I
Fact.
sent you a link. Reason TV is investigating it, and now they have new documents that proved everything we knew all along. So now we know for sure.
Okay.
That's the
Well, I
link I
guess-
sent you. So,
You
but
sent it on
remember, like
Discord?
years ago, when everyone knew it was a lab leak, but we weren't allowed to talk about it.
I don't remember not being allowed to talk about it.
Oh yes, yeah, you do. You
Me and
remember
my
when
How
YouTube
would you
was
know? Me and my friends talked about it.
because your channel would have been banned and censored and shadow banned if you were talking
Oh,
about
I don't
it.
know if we talked about it on the channel.
That's what I'm saying.
We may have.
You would know if you were talking about it.
Well, put it this way: nothing ever happened to me if I did.
Well, you know, you gotta have like at least 1,000 followers for YouTube to
Okay, well
care.
maybe
But
I'm
you know,
too small. It works
yeah.
to my advantage.
But anyways, so now that we kind of are allowed to talk about it, you know, like we'll see. I notice every time they post new information, YouTube has to remind you to check with the CDC about approved, you know, information before you start thinking too freely.
Well, that's all it is. By thinking freely, you mean speculation. That's all it is. That's all we can do. We're not over there, and we don't have the expertise to carry out the investigations that we need.
But why aren't we investigating it? Maybe one of the first questions.
I don't know. Whose responsibility is it to investigate?
I think Congress gave it a shot not too long ago, but all they do is grandstand. They don't actually accomplish anything in Congress. They just, you know, stir up clickbait.
Well, if Congress is not going to do it seriously, I don't know who else would. Like, if they're not going to take it up, then it's probably a lost cause.
Exactly. That's why I said stop voting these people into office. Vote people into office that will find out the answers and fix it.
Yeah, you always have that option. Find the people, help them get on the ballot, and vote them in.
I'm going to vote Jeff for Congress next year. He'll get to the bottom of this.
Well, it won't be me. Maybe Chopper Jeff.
No, Gen X Jeff.
No, I won't. I'm not running. There's no way.
Well, I'm not going to run, so don't look at me.
Well, then we have to accept whatever outcome of the people that do have more
Let's vote
passion or intensity or investment to put more effort in.
Let's
All
vote
right.
for
Well,
Sterling. Sterling.
yeah, you talked me into it. I'll do it.
All right, Sterling. Go get him.
No way, man. No way.
Come
No
on,
way.
man. I double dog dare you.
I want a simple life. I don't need that shit.
Me too, bro. That's why I'm in my forest compound, getting away from the stupid.
It's probably a trailer out in the woods.
Maybe it is. Who wants
There
to
you
know,
go.
Jeff?
Got it.
What difference does it make? Does it have to be like some mega fortress or something?
No, it could be whatever you want. It's your trailer.
As long as it's got sniper towers and guard dogs, I'm good. Those things aren't expensive. So when does FlowState stream? I can't figure.
He's been streaming a lot lately, like almost every day.
No, but like, what's his schedule? Does he?
He's usually in the evenings, like late. Usually after Talcott. Sometimes he does really late streams.
Because I saw a stream
midnight.
like yesterday that ended at like 6 a.m. or something like that, and I was like, did he start
It's really
at
just
1 a.m.?
whenever he feels like it and has the time. Like he went 5.5 hours yesterday.
Whoa. Because I was gonna try and catch him randomly, but that's not my schedule.
That's the best thing to do. Just drop in when you see one. Well, Reddington's not a fan.
But Machine Lies wanted me to come by and talk some philosophy, so I tried on that last stream. You were there.
Last night?
No, remember the Machine Lies stream that I was on and you were on at the same time?
Oh, was that this weekend?
I can't remember. It was like a couple days ago or something like
I think
that.
so. Yeah, that's when Rant was on.
And do you remember how productive that conversation was?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know who his simulation is, but he's got a neural jack size stick up his ass that he needs to deal with or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some of it's spurgery.
Can we get rid of all the spurging on the internet? And
I mean, you could try, but who would you have left? Like it's 80-90% spurgs.
That's what I said. That's what I've been saying all along. It's like I'm not against all of you, just like 99.99% of you. That's all. If we can,
I don't even like all of them either. Like some of them are even too over the line for me. Like this one right here.
The Spurg lives in me, Provo Planet. So Sterling, you want to talk about something?
I'm just kidding, Provo.
I'm sorry. Do I want to talk about what you said?
Anything, something.
I came in. We were talking about politics, kind of loosely, and I'm kind of curious who do y'all think? Well, first, I guess, do you think it'll be Trump versus Biden?
Of course it will, and neither one of those will make any difference.
I hope not. I don't want either one. I mean, I'm worried about both. They're both old.
Sure. You know, I'm not saying that you are, but I'm not an ageist. If someone's 170 and they're really sharp, I guess I'm open to it. But it's just like, I was just wondering, like, the odds look like it will be Trump versus Biden, right? Or what do y'all think?
Well, he still has those 4 indictment trials to go through.
Sure.
So we don't know what's going to come out of that.
So
I don't think it's smart. I questioned the wisdom of running Trump at all with these trials hanging over his head. But
so then it'll be Biden versus DeSantis or Vivek or whatever.
I thought they all suspended their campaigns, except for Haley, if she's still even running.
Yeah, because that'll happen. The Republicans will vote for Nikki.
This is going to be. I don't know what I don't want a President Kamala. I feel very strongly about that.
I don't think anyone cares anymore at this point. I think that's what we're seeing in live time.
Yeah, you're probably right. I know a lot of my friends and family don't vote. You know, just don't see the point. I
think the people voting don't care. I think they're just going through the motions at this point. Like if at the last minute, when the people who voted for Biden they just suddenly switched it and said, "Oh, oops, we meant Kamala Harris instead." They're like, "Fine, whatever, I don't care." You know, they'll just keep voting whatever. They don't care.
I was just wondering who you guys thought Trump would choose as his VP.
Vivek,
You think
Think so?
Vivek?
he's
I
the
don't think so.
popular one.
That would make me like him even less too. Then I'd have to choose between a Kamala presidency and a Vivek presidency,
Trump's
and
a
both of them make
populist.
me want to vomit.
Trump's a populist, so he's going to go with the popular vote. He's also a Democrat, by the way, which is hilarious.
He's
Because
a
Republicans keep
narcissist
voting
before
for him.
anything else. He's going to do what's good for Trump.
Of course, he's going to be the best president ever.
You think he's going to pick a female?
I don't.
If he can grab her right by the vagina, he can. He will. Maybe Nikki does still have a chance. We'll see. So, what's your political views, Sterling? We can talk about yours.
Well, I think on that specific issue, I don't know who Trump will pick. Maybe DeSantis, but I'm thinking maybe it'll just be like another Mike Pence, somebody like boring, somebody that we never really kind of heard of, someone white that's a man. Um, it worked for him the first time, so I don't know. I think he'll do that again, but I'm not sure. My political views are, hey, um, I lean towards a lot of socialism mixed with democracy. Yeah, I voted for Bernie in 2016 in the primaries, and then I voted for Jill Stein. And then I voted for Bernie in the primaries of 2020, and then I voted Green Party again. And
Do you have student loans?
no, I don't.
Then why would you vote for Bernie? You should vote for Comrade Yang. He has the UBI. At least you get some more free shit.
Well, I've tried to at one point in time, I probably did vote in my best interest, but I'm trying to
But
get
not
it.
anymore.
Not anymore. No, I'm in a position where I don't have to, so I'm trying to think about the greater good, if that makes sense.
Oh, so you are a fan of socialism. So can you give me an example of a socialist country in human history that has ever produced profit or prosperity or wealth for their citizens?
Yeah, Venezuela.
Oh my goodness. Holy shit.
He just wants his debate in case you missed the other 8 or 9 exactly like it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. I needed a good laugh. Thanks, Sterling.
Yeah, no worries.
He said Venezuela.
Of
They have
course.
the tastiest pets, by the way. If you need any good pet recipes, you just hit up Venezuela. They know how to cook them right.
I was in Venezuela for a month last year.
Do you eat any of their pets?
No.
It's pretty cheap. Like $1 American can buy like 100,000 Venezuelan pets for dinner. It's a pretty good
Is
exchange rate.
that right? I got ripped off. They must
Have you
given
seen
me.
their currency?
Yeah, well, it's been about a year. I forgot, and I've been in a few countries since then. But yeah, Venezuela was great. Colombia was great.
What was great about Venezuela? I'm curious.
Well, I'm saying the exchange rate.
Oh, so you like it when socialists absolutely destroy the economy so that you can take your US dollar over there and live like a king? Is that your point?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like arguing for socialism or something. That's weird.
No, I'm not arguing shit.
Oh, okay. I was confused. Sorry.
I could see that. No, I like the exchange rate of Venezuela and Colombia. Costa Rica was not quite as good. And, Uruguay was almost just as expensive. So
I hear Zimbabwe is nice this time of year. You might want to swing by there next time you're in the neighborhood.
I'll look into it. If they have Airbnb, I'll check it out.
You definitely want to avoid Argentina. So, unfortunately, they caught a case of the capitalism, and so their economy is going to start recovering, and so your dollar is not going to go as far there anymore. So,
As,
too bad.
and, there's so many socialist countries that are really struggling. I don't know why I'm holding on to it.
That's why I was wondering if you had an example of like one in human history that was successful.
Did I mention Cuba?
Is that an example of successful socialism?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Is that why the Cubans were dying in rafts trying to get to America because the socialism was so great in Cuba?
Yeah, you're right again. You're right again.
I
So
know.
we're left with Venezuela.
Yes, yeah, Venezuela. Go back to Venezuela.
Yeah. Tasty pets. It's good to be like a cat lady that has like 10 cats around the house and stuff, because when the socialists take over, then you'll have like a buffet ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you can eat.
I think you've converted me. I think I'm a capitalist now.
You know what
Oh,
converted
you made
me?
a sell. Wait till you hear about conservatarianism.
Oh man, I've got more. But wait, there's more. No, but real quick side note. Do you know what converted me in the whole cap versus socialism debate?
In the what debate?
Capitalism versus socialism.
A woman.
Nope. It was just the definition.
Go on.
So, given the choice between private ownership and the voluntary exchange of goods and services versus the state seizing the means of production and centrally planning all your shit for you, I was like, why is this is even a competition? Like, who's debating this shit? Like, who would actually vote for socialism in this case? I don't understand.
You know, I didn't know those definitions, but now that you say that like that, yeah, you make a lot of sense.
So, like, think about it. Do you want the Congress to own your property and your cars and boats and your banks and your businesses, or do you want you to own your house and your business and your profit? Like, which one
Where do you
would
get
you
that
prefer?
from? That's
The
very
definition.
disingenuous.
Just Google the definition of each word and see what it says.
That's very disingenuous of a definition.
I'm sure
Ask
it's
the
verbatim.
AI, Jeff. Just
I'm sure
ask
it's
the AI.
verbatim. I'm sure it's verbatim what you said. And I have no reason to doubt you.
I have reason. What's the part about Congress owning everything? Or
Because they're
deciding?
the state. The state government will seize the means
So
of
you
production.
substituted Congress for the state,
That
and you
is your
inserted the
government,
state
doofus.
in there.
Jeff, who is the government? It's Congress and the executive branch and the judicial branch and all those people in Washington. It's the federal government. Anyway, Sterling, the reason why humans fall for this trick is because they'll appeal to your emotions. So they'll say, but Sterling, don't you want to end poverty? Don't you feel sorry for poor people? Socialism will help poor people. And then people go, oh, okay. Well, if that's true, then I will vote for socialism. Is that true, Sterling?
It's what true?
Does socialism cure poverty? Does it decrease the amount of poor people and starving people in the world?
It's I don't know.
The answer is no. It has never even slightly moved the needle in the other direction. The most starving poor people have resulted from socialism.
Is that right? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true?
Soviet Russia, communist China, North Korea. The list goes on. It goes on forever. Cuba is not a good recent example because they're kind of like a puppet state for Russia, and so they actually like try to mingle with American capitalism like China did back in the Hong Kong days. But that's just confusing the topic. That's not helping. It's not solving the debate between socialism and capitalism. You're just like overlaying so much layers of bullshit that you don't know what you're talking about anymore. So
I don't.
like in America, we used to be a very capitalist country. Like we were like, ha ha ha, we are the #1 capitalist country in the world. And then like recently we're like barely even in like the top 20 anymore because we're like becoming so socialist that we just don't give a shit anymore. We're like, yeah, we're rich, we're wealthy, fuck it, we'll just throw away all our money.
Where are you seeing that? What's an example of that?
Of why we're losing our number top 10 ranking.
Yeah.
I use Heritage, but you can use Cato Institute if you want. Either one will
But
point
what
in the right.
number, what metrics?
Economic Freedom Index. If you Google the phrase Economic Freedom Index, it'll take you to their website.
What does that mean? Like being able to do what you want with your money?
Exactly. That's what capitalism is. Capitalism, once again, capitalism means you own your house, your land, and your factories
Instead
and
of
your
Congress.
business.
And that paying
That's-
taxes too, like telling you how much taxes.
Exactly. See, tax is one way the government seizes control of your, profit, your ownership, or whatever. They can pretend like you own your business, but if they take like 50% of your profit, what does that mean? It's like what value does it have to say I own my business if I have to give the government 50% of all
Yeah,
my
well, you're
profit?
just redefining ownership, like you do in all these other words.
I'm not redefining it. I'm just telling you
Yeah, you are.
the games they play to sell you socialism, because they say no, you still own your business. We're not taking it from you. We're just taking 50% of all your profits, and you're like, well, wait a minute. Why do you get 50% of all of my money? That doesn't make any sense. That sounds like highway robbery.
I
But then
doubt that they're taking 50% of your
you
trailer.
obviously don't pay taxes in America. Then that's how you know when someone makes those statements. When they say, "I doubt you're paying that much," you know that person doesn't pay taxes. Because the people that do pay taxes will tell you for sure it's definitely at least 40%, usually around 50%.
What amount would you pay reasonably?
For my government, do you want to hear my pitch, Jeff, or have I already told you this one before?
I just want you to answer the question. I know about your conservative.
What would I pay for this government, the current government?
What's a reasonable amount of tax you would pay?
That's a loaded question, Jeff, because for this government,
Just 25%, 33. Just give me
no
rough
more than
estimate.
10% out of my cold dead hands for this
So
government.
you're a cheapskate.
Yes. But I would have asterisks on that money. Like, first of all, you're not allowed to murder babies anymore. You're also not allowed to bomb brown people with proxy wars with China and Russia with my money. Even if I'm giving you 10%, you're not allowed to use that 10% for doing those things. And then after we're done, clearing out the swamp, I will concede my 10%.
Okay.
Wasn't that what Trump was going to do?
Yeah, Sterling. Did Trump clear the swamp, by the way? Is it clean now? No more swamps?
I don't think so.
He did jack shit, dude. He did nothing to the current
So
system.
why are you still talking about it like he's going to do it?
I've never voted for Trump. I don't support him.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood.
No, dude. I'm so far off the radar. I'm not even on the same ball field as everyone else.
Oh, okay. So how does the swamp get cleared then?
Oh, that's easy. You vote iPhi Emperor, and tomorrow it will be clear, crystal clear.
Oh, I get it.
Clean as a whistle.
Gotcha.
I would basically do like a Javier Milei action where I'd take a chainsaw to the government and just, afuera, 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 afuera. And then when I'm done with the afuera, the only thing that would be left would be the National Guard to enforce our borders and the rule of law. So we'd probably keep the judicial courts around to, adjudicate any shenanigans between the states and cities and stuff. But other than that, that's it. Like, what other government do you need?
So it's another fantasy.
Yeah,
Dystopia.
it's a complete fantasy, dude. There's no way. There's not enough good, intelligent people to pull this off. No way, dude. So currently, people like Jeff just thinks everything's fine, and so he just votes Biden or Trump. He doesn't care. He's like, yeah, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
So that's why I get angry at Jeff, because he won't see things through my eyes.
Speaking of Jeff, bye Jeff. I've seen a little bit through your eyes. I don't agree with.
No, you still think I'm going to march militias up to the Capitol building or something because you weren't listening to me. I didn't say that.
No, I didn't. I didn't say you were going to march them up to the Capitol. I
I
thought you were
just
using
said,
them
like,
to guard the perimeter of this little totalitarian compound you were trying to build.
yeah. I was just saying, like, sometimes tyrants need to be reminded that, some people aren't so easily pushed around. And so there
Well, a
are still
tyrant
things.
is not somebody you can vote out every 4 years.
Go vote out Biden or
So
Trump,
I'm not.
Jeff.
I'm not sure
Go
what
vote
you're
them out.
talking. What tyrant you're talking about here in the United States?
I'm
We
talking about
took
the
care of
federal
that.
government, dude, and the state governments, and now even the city governments are following suit. So they're all one big happy family. And
About
your
the
votes
taxes,
don't matter,
the
by the
amount
way.
of taxes.
They tell you who you can vote for, and they know it doesn't make a difference.
Nobody's told me who to vote for. Provo, I assumed he was talking about income tax. 50% of his income tax.
So Sterling, in my world, if votes actually mattered, Ron Paul would be our president right now. That's what the evidence I would need for you to convince me.
That's the proof of you. I need to convince you what?
That your vote matters as an American citizen.
He's just an aggrieved loser. He's just bitter because he
To
fell in
convince
moving into
you
the vote.
to convince you that your vote matters in this country, Ron Paul would have to be president now.
Yes, he would have already been president
Well,
because
then,
it would
okay.
have been a landslide if it was an actual fair election process.
Okay, well, it
because
didn't happen.
because and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you believe that Ron Paul received more votes?
Oh yeah, he definitely has more support. He just wasn't even allowed to like be on the same stage and the same propaganda network and the same
Okay.
electoral colleges and all that jazz.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
It's the same way that when Bernie was getting more popular and he was winning, but then somehow magically Hillary won the candidacy. Do you remember that?
Of course.
That's because your vote doesn't matter, Sterling. See, they already decided for you that no, we prefer Hillary.
Well, that's the nomination process. That's the parties determine that, the RNC and the DNC.
Do you remember how much Bernie hated Hillary before when he was winning, and then suddenly when the establishment decided he doesn't count anymore, then all of a sudden he was like, yeah, I'll go vote for Hillary. I totally support her.
Yeah, and I didn't listen to him when he said that.
Oh, okay. But anyway, I'm just providing you evidence of the world I see. Maybe it's different, but
I have no doubt it's the world you see, and it's
yeah.
evidence to you of whatever world it is you think you're seeing.
It's mind control by the lizard people.
Serpent, they're snake people. We thought they were lizards, but they're snakes.
Okay.
By the way, I don't believe in any of these like far-flung conspiracies or anything like that, because again, that implies there's people with brains behind the scenes, like pulling all the strings and stuff. It's more like evil retards winning like general populist elections, and then they get in their little executive board meetings, and then they have like the board of directors say, okay, let's make this guy the next president. It's more like that.
Yeah, politics.
Sure.
It's like a mega corporation that got out of hand. Pretty much.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And see, I'm a capitalist, Sterling. So now you're starting to say, but iPhi, didn't you just say capitalism is the way to the future? And I would say the problem with capitalism is authoritarian governments. So if you have an authoritarian government that you can lobby and coerce into conspiring against the general public and have cronyism, now you've got a problem with capitalism. Now capitalism's fucked because you basically broke it. The only way to break capitalism is to get a government that has the monopoly on violence and power and authority to affect the market in favor of this cronyist capitalist, and that's the way you break it. So if you have a libertarian government that's small and powerless, then capitalism will thrive and it'll be fair for everyone. And then you have antitrust laws so that there's no shenanigans behind the scenes.
And taxation is theft. Don't forget that part.
Right, zero taxation. You don't need any taxation at all. And in fact, you could have an opt-in system where any services you demand from your public, you can pay for. So if you want shiny new roads to your supermarket, you can pay for it. You can
Right.
opt in and say, I will pay this 10% tax on this new road.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So see, Jeff, it is possible. If you have good and intelligent people, it can be done. It's just the flaw in my equation is there's no good and intelligent people.
Well, not enough of them to run a society on that scale. I mean, Plato ran into the same issue.
I mean, you could argue that, okay, since we only have 3 good and intelligent people, let's just let them be the authoritarian government to run everything, but that also runs into problems as well.
Yeah, there are intelligent people that I would not want running things.
It's the old beneficial king problem. Everybody wants a beneficial king, but they don't exist. So, you can just keep wishing and praying every day to win the lottery, but it ain't going to happen. Also, it teaches the people to rely on the monarchy as a good system, and we already know that's a bad idea.
Unless you're the monarch.
It's good to be the king. That's why I said if you vote iPhi Emperor, I will solve all your problems.
That's all this is. It's just you trying to be king.
No, not king.
King.
I want to be emperor.
Joshua Jones trying to be king.
Kings are underrated, dude. I settle for nothing less than emperor. If you want to get shit done, that is. But in the meantime, I try to appeal to the masses through good and intelligence and watching.
I know, but you sucked at it. We saw you try to appeal like 8
So
or 10
what's wrong with
times,
my sales pitch, Jeff? How do I need to change my sales pitch?
Well, today you tried to sell a different product and you were more successful. So some of it, I think, may be the product itself, the bunker in the woods, the
I've never tried to sell
militias,
the bunker
no
in the
tax
woods.
thing. That's going to be harder to sell than whatever BS you were selling today that he was buying.
I could sell an opt-in tax, which is also known as exchange of goods and services, which is capitalism. So it just makes the government another competing.
What? Like, I thought you were successful at capitalism. Why do you have this big beef with it?
I'm successful with it, but the government I'm subject to is fucking it up on a daily basis. So
By not spending the money where you think they should spend it.
Oh, definitely, but not even that. Just the gross amounts of waste that go into it. Like, do you know what we could have done with that money instead? Like, holy cow, we could have Star Trek technology by now easily, but instead we spend it on leftist woke committees about diversity and equity and inclusion and stuff, because that's more important.
I think it would run better. So, well, is that just like at the local level? Is there somewhere you can move?
Yeah, but local subject to state and state subject to federal, so you always got to remember where the buck stops. Also, your local are all in on it, and so are all your state governments.
So you don't like paying taxes, as much taxes as you pretend to pay.
No, technology is not the answer, Red. It's just part of the problem. I think Machine Lies has some kind of weird agenda against technology or something. I'll have to ask him next time I see him. But
I think he's skeptical of it. He and Neurojack.
It's not helping in many cases because, like, now evil retards can spread their messages even faster. So, like, that's not helping. Like, it is better when they were like nuts out in the woods that no one listened to, and they were just yelling at trees all day. But now they can get on like YouTube and have like their own platforms and everything.
Yeah, especially if you're their only competition.
But in the end, it's still the large groups that are the biggest problem. So it's the government and the people that keep voting for these governments, and the people that say everything's fine.
I've somehow managed to live my life just fine.
Is everything fine?
Or independent of all of that. So it makes me wonder what your vision for your life was, that the government was able to thwart it.
Jeff, I
like
bet
it
there
did.
was a Gen X Jeff in Venezuela back in the capitalism days, and that he was like saying, "Everything's fine. Like life's good here. Like what are you guys bitching about?" And so these socialists showed up, and they're like, "Hey guys, can we fuck up everything?" And Jeff was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Everything's fine. We'll just vote them in. I mean, I
No,
want to end
they
poverty."
have shown up here. They've shown up in the academies.
They've taken
They've
over
shown
the
up in
whole
the
system,
educational system, in the mental health field. They've shown up in healthcare, and I have pushed back every single time
and
I've
they own
seen them.
Hollywood, and they run the government, and they control everything about every
But
aspect of your
they're
daily
not on
life.
the level of Venezuela where they're about to take over the
Not
government.
yet. I mean, what do you think's
I
gonna
mean,
happen in 20
Biden and
years?
Kamala, they're pretty close, so they're gonna do whatever they're able to do with what they have now.
You're not understanding what I'm saying, Jeff. Like, are you gonna wait 20 years until we are Venezuela, and then you'll say maybe everything's not fine now?
But what the whole conversation started with me saying that there's not like I was able to pretty much live the life I wanted to live, and the government didn't
Now you can't.
disrupt that much. And you seem to think you you seem to have had a different experience.
I
Where
have produced offspring. That's the difference between us, Jeff. I'm with you, Jeff. I'll be in the bunker in my woods, and I don't give a shit. But I'm thinking a little bit ahead for the people that
no,
have to
Flo, I
inherit
really
this
don't.
clusterfuck.
They
Tell
must
FlowState
not
to come on
be.
real quick. FlowState, come on real quick, buddy. I think
They
Jeff.
must not be like very powerful dominoes if I don't even feel them when they hit my life.
I can't read what he's saying. By the way, you flash stuff way too fast.
Jeff must not understand how the economic dominoes hit his life in many, many ways.
I agree.
But
FlowState,
the only answer that iPhi
come
gave
to the
me
stage.
to that I don't think the government has done anything really to impact my life or keep me from living how I want to live was to tell me about Venezuela 20 years into the future.
Uh,
And we were getting somewhere, I think, with the offspring.
oh yeah. So that's the problem. Like I said, like our generation will be gone by the time the shit hits the fan. So
Yeah, that's why I'm not worried about it.
so I'm more concerned about the younger kids that have to hang around and watch this clusterfuck unfold. So they're gonna be like,
You don't have trust in them that they'll figure something out for themselves.
"Oh hell no, dude! Fucking
I guess
millennials and Gen Z Zoomers. You think Zoomers are gonna straighten this shit out? Holy shit, dude! Have you talked to Zoomers ever in your life?
I know. You
Have you talked to
the
millennials?
argument is definitely on your side, but I still find myself having faith in this next gen. Like the little glimpses of them that I've seen should horrify me, but it doesn't. Here's your friend.
Hey, FlowState.
Salute.
First of all, FlowState, what is your schedule, dude? Do you like stream at 4 o'clock in the morning or something? Like what?
Yeah. So ever since when was it? I guess the beginning of when the kids went on Christmas break, and then out here in the middle of the country, we got hella blizzards and stuff. And so basically, the kids just went back to school. So for like a month, I've been my whole shit got shifted back. So now I basically am up nights and sleep days. I don't know that it'll stay like that, but
So
it's
like
been like that for
when's a
about a
convenient time to jump on your stream? Let me rephrase the question.
month. Are you looking for more of a one-on-one discussion, or are you just looking for what do you?
The room you're in right now, this kind of vibe, just kind of chill conversation, productive.
He's looking for a platform for his wacky bunker in the woods.
No, I just want to know what his schedule is. I can't figure out his
I don't.
schedule.
Yeah,
Conservative
I don't have a schedule. I don't have a schedule. The pattern that I'm in right now is I've been going live just about every night, actually lately.
Is it like
After
1 in
Talcott,
the morning or like what?
no, last night was later than normal. Normally, I start by 8 or 9.
Okay. I was just curious
Yeah.
because like with Jeff, you know what time to show up, and do you see how that works?
Don't
Watch
expect that from
Talcott.
me.
Usually after Talcott, he's on.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
still
I'm normally going after Talcott, but yeah, if you're waiting for me to set a schedule, you're gonna be waiting a long time.
Okay, there's your answer. I was trying to figure out when I can just randomly catch you, but I don't think it's gonna happen. So we'll talk.
But yeah, no, Hold on a second. I got to order something.
Okay. Come back when you're ready. So, Jeff, see, there's another compliment. I'm complimenting you all the time. I don't know if you ever catch these things, but like,
Yeah, I never know how ironic to take it.
no,
Probably
Jeff,
because I'm complimenting you in the same way.
Jeff, I never use sarcasm when I'm complimenting you or anything like that. I'm dead
Irony
serious.
doesn't have to be sarcasm.
I'm not being ironic either, Jeff. I'm being dead
I don't
serious.
know. I have a pretty good irony meter, I think.
Anyways, we can talk about stuff, even though we clearly disagree.
Well, we tried to, and we ended up in Venezuela in the future, 2 decades.
Oh, that was because I was trying to paint a picture for you, Jeff.
But the picture didn't address what I was saying. Is that, like Flo said, these dominoes of the government haven't really hit my life much.
Not yet. You're in the early stages, Jeff.
Is it because I don't have kids? I would understand it more.
Yes, because you don't care what happens like 20 years from now.
I have nieces and nephews. I care about the world.
I don't think you care what happens to their politics.
I do, but I also think that that's going to be their challenge to rise to.
Yeah, dude. Like, would you wish, like the Cultural Revolution on your children or something? Is that what you're saying?
No, but I'd also have the faith that they could resist it. Welcome back.
Okay.
So I disagree about the Jeff needing to wait for the future to be impacted. Thank you. If you look at the inflation, I mean, what if you had twice as much money?
I would love
right now. If you your whole life you doubled your income, and what if I mean, sorry, I'm multitasking. Because the average person, not the ultra rich, but the average person spends over half of their income on taxes. Once you factor in income tax, property tax, sales tax, licenses,
all of this that you're talking about comes down to you think we pay too much taxes.
It's not just taxes.
No, dude. That's one thing.
It's inflation, and it's like the cost of living and all.
Yeah, so your wealth, your prosperity is cut at least in half. You also have I hate the compulsory education. The public schools. We're going to look back in the future at this time and go, you know what? The public school system was child abuse. We took kids at the most curious and innovative time of their lives and gave them a boredom lobotomy for 18 years and stomped that out of them.
We need to teach them how to balance a checkbook and what socialism is in public schools.
Oh yeah, anytime, Tim. We're here every day, 2 p.m. Central, 7 days a week.
But then again, I'm one of those homeschooler, private schooler types, so.
Me too.
I don't really have a dog in this.
I mean, kind of. I wish I was more. But
well, if these are the examples of how government has impacted you, I mean, I can't really argue with them. I went to public school too.
I know, and it shows. It shows. You can't even understand how much it shows on you.
That's why you think everything is fine, Jeff, because school taught you to think everything is fine.
No, it taught me to
down the shithole.
I think everything is fine because I'm capable of critically evaluating my own experiences. And
oh, really?
Your reference point for what's fine is off.
And public schools taught you critical thinking? I don't believe that, Jeff.
Well, I mean, I did go to a special alternative school too. I rode the very long bus and the short bus.
Yeah, public schools definitely teach you. They do the opposite of critical thinking?
Honestly, I don't know what my public school taught me because most of my education didn't come from it. But I used to teach in it. I know what I was able to teach.
Yeah. So then, I mean, when I say this, you'll probably recognize that what kids are being taught and trained through repetition is to be on time, to do what you're told, that truth comes from authority, not from experience or reason. It's obedience. It's obedience training. The curriculum is a sidebar. The real program.
Obedience training, part of it was over by Head Start and our kindergarten.
Also, Flo, you forgot the government is here to help. You forgot one of the most.
Oh yeah, right. We are the government is the people. I forgot about that.
I didn't have really strict schools like trying to beat rules into me all the time.
Did you have a bell?
Huh?
How long did you have in between classes?
between class. We had recess twice a day, and then a big lunch recess.
What did they
I'm
teach you
talking about
anything?
elementary school, where you're in the same room the whole day. We
The
didn't start
reason.
switching classes till junior high school.
Okay, how much time did you have in between classes then?
I don't know, like 5 minutes. I don't remember. It felt like 5 minutes. Might have been 10. You had your lockers. You could go to your
The
locker.
point is that, sorry, I mean, all these systems teach kids to wait for the next assignment.
And to regurgitate what you've been
So
taught.
is your issue educate? See, like every time we start talking about stuff like this, it comes down to a very basic, simple issue, but it starts out as something really dramatic, like eating the bugs. Turned out to be.
Well, I mean, you can
is your concern
you can
educate?
narrate anything. Well, so it's a very basic, simple issue to die, right? You can phrase anything that way. That doesn't mean it's a small issue.
So you're worried about the education that your daughter is going to receive.
I'm more worried about the culture my child's going to grow up in than their education. I can handle their education.
Well, what can you do about culture, though?
You can't. We've already lost the culture war. They're going to grow up in a woke left-hard.
Probably so. That's
apocalypse.
what I was looking at the graphs earlier. That's what the graphs are looking like.
And they're going to hear all these like mentally ill people ranting and raving at each other all day, and they're not going to hear a single productive conversation. And I'm going to be like, well, sorry. Good luck. Have fun.
Probably so.
Which is that's why I'm concerned, Jeff, because I don't like being surrounded by evil retards.
What do you do about it other than most woke movies and
I wasted years of my life trying to appeal to people to make them smarter and better, and that was a complete failure.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I learned very early at a very young age the limitations of trying to do that.
I wasted lots of time debating people online and stuff. It was a complete waste of time, but I tried. I don't know how much time you guys spent on that little project, but or maybe you just now started. When did you start?
I'm not in public school, so public school doesn't affect me. I don't pay 50% of my taxes, so that doesn't affect me. So the examples that you're giving me from your lives, I understand them.
Is it okay if your neighbors are paying 50% taxes on their income?
I will let them determine that for themselves. I'm not going to.
Jeff, does it not bother you at all that you don't have the right to the first say in what you do with the fruit of your labor or with your body via the war on drugs?
I somehow managed to have that autonomy. I don't know why you don't.
No, you don't. Go ahead and try to decide what to put in your body.
And don't forget about the draft. They can pull you into war
as
needed.
It doesn't bother you at all on a philosophical level that you're not really in charge of yourself?
I don't have this anxious, paranoid personality that's able to sit there and worry.
It's not anxious or paranoid. It's you have lobotomized. You're lobotomized, but that public school, man, it fucked you up.
Maybe.
Huh.
Jeff has his bread in circuses, and
I'd rather be this though than overly anxious about everything.
I'm not anxious at all about it. I'm just realist about it. It's bullshit.
You seem worried more than me about.
I'm bummed out, but I'm not really worried about it.
I'm more concerned that you're oblivious to it or okay with it. Like it's a little bit baffling.
Why does that affect you at all?
Because you keep voting these retards into power, Jeff.
Impact you one way or the other.
Because you keep voting these retards into power, Jeff.
We don't even live in the same state.
Yeah, that's not why it worries me. I don't know why. I don't know why it bothers me, but Jeff, we got to fix you.
No, I'm fine. Like, you're not going to fix me any more than I'm going to fix you. So
I'm going to fix you, Jeff.
Let's just enjoy each other for what we are.
I'm going to fix you. I haven't given up on you yet.
iPhi, you haven't even been able to sell me on your trailer in the woods yet.
Which part do you not like? Is it the private ownership or the voluntary exchange? Is that the part that bothers you?
The part that none of it bothers me. I was describing my life and my ability to understand where you're coming from based on my life.
Is it the small governments that bothers you, Jeff?
There's very limited overlap that I can draw on. I don't have the issues that you have with school.
Is it the small governments? Is that what you can't stomach?
I am not overly burdened by government on a day-to-day basis. It impacts my life almost nothing.
We already
Like,
Are
know.
you happy with the healthcare industry?
There's very few times I have to actually interact with the government.
There's another good example, Flo. The healthcare industry.
Right.
Is that doing pretty good in our country?
No, I used to work in the healthcare industry. I've watched it. When I say degrade, that's subjective on my part. I've watched it become more impersonal and technocratic.
Is everything
And to
fine?
me, that's
And
a degradation of what it
That
used
is
to
an increase in government oversight. And actually, the healthcare industry, the reason that the
A lot
healthcare
of
system
it
is
comes
fucked up.
from corporations and insurance companies more
cronyism
than
with
government.
No, it's
the
monopoly.
insurance-
It's monopolies. They have regulatory
monopolies.
capture. And that's the reason healthcare is so much more fucked up than other industries, because the regulatory capture is so extreme that the barriers to entry, you can't enter healthcare at all unless you do the big pharma thing.
And it's cronyism
What's
with
the big
the
pharma thing?
insurance companies and big pharma, and they shouldn't be able to collude in the first place, which what I was telling
Pills.
Sterling earlier.
Pills.
Nobody gives me pills. And
That's
the few
all they
pills
give
they
you.
gave me, I don't have to take them.
That's all they give you is pills. They just
They
grab a handful of
No,
pills and throw
it
them at you.
depends on
That's
what
the
you're
correct
going in
dosage.
for. But I've had many things done for different complaints.
And those pills cause more side effects that you need more pills for. It's just like a
That's what I'm
eternally
saying.
feeding
It
system.
seems simplistic. The narrative, like, oh, all they do is go in and give you pills, and that's our healthcare system.
Because if they actually cured you, then they wouldn't make any money off
Well,
of
it
you.
depends
Jeff.
on what you're going in for. Not everything can be cured.
Oh,
The
yes, it
third,
can.
but a lot of things can be. And a lot of things that are medicated,
I'm sure that they try to cure what they can.
a lot of things are being medicated that are not diseases, like depression and anxiety. That's not a disease. It doesn't need a chemical poison.
I tend to agree. It's case by case basis. There are cases where certain medications do help people improve their symptoms and these conditions. So I wouldn't want to take that from them.
There's
But
another
in general, I don't find medical solutions helpful to me personally for any of those.
One of the side effects of antidepressants is increased suicide. Let that sink in for a second.
It can be in some of them. It can be. That was an issue.
That's nuts.
But I don't know if we're circling around the real issue or if we're just jumping around topics a lot. But
everything's fine, Jeff. We don't have any problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Socialism is the
I'm not
boogie,
saying these are not problems, but they're not problems like standing outside of my window waiting to be dealt with today.
Hey, Sterling, do socialist countries have better healthcare than capitalist countries?
Some do.
On average, do they
know.
produce better results?
The ones that aren't being bombarded by tariffs and embargoes, yeah, they do quite well.
Okay, North Korea is not being bombarded by terrorists or embargoes, so is their healthcare better than the United States, for example?
Huh?
Is their healthcare better than the United States?
Who? North Korea?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
How about Venezuela? Is their healthcare better than the United States?
You realize that these two countries are bombarded with embargoes and tariffs and sanctions, right?
Look, we can look at different sectors within the U.S. and compare them. I think the most socialized part of healthcare is the VA.
How about Canada? Does Canada have better healthcare?
Just look at the VA compared to the rest of it. The more socialized it gets within the country, the worse it is.
And why does it always have to start with capitalist systems and then fuck it up? Why can't they invent their own prosperity and wealth and innovation?
I mean, capitalism isn't perfect, but it's the best thing that we've come up with.
It's the best one. That's the
Who
key
said
word.
that just now?
Me, Flo.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
And I have never argued that it's perfect. Matter of fact, I was just talking to Sterling about how it can be imperfect when you allow cronyism and lobbyism to interfere with the government.
Well, that's even absent that, in a free market, there's a compounding returns, right? So you have a tendency, whoever starts taking the lead will then rapidly gain it faster and faster. So you do have a pooling of resources naturally in free markets, but you sort of have that phenomenon happening all throughout nature and the world. Poolings of success, I suppose. But I think the issue is people put too much expectations on the economy. All it's doing is moving around physical goods. It's physical resources. It's not going to fix your marriage. It's not going to make your kids love you. It's not going to solve all these other human issues that people sort of try to expect of it.
All it's going to do is destroy value. It never creates it. It's just a parasite.
What, capitalism?
No, socialism and government.
Well,
And
ours
so
is mixed. Here
there
in the
is
US.
a way to ruin capitalism by cheating the system, by forming monopolies and lobbying the government to sway in your favor. But that's the whole point of capitalism, is to keep the government small and out of the system. So all you need is rule of law, and then you're fine. But it's sad that we have to still debate this to this day. Like, it's still a debate topic. Like, people still aren't sure. They're like, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of like the socialism stuff. It sounds nice.
Bro,
Most of the ones I debate that with are rich kids from the suburbs
that don't pay taxes and that are trust fund kids. Yeah, those are the people that argue for socialism. That's true. Because they never worked a day in their life and they don't know how economies work, and
Yeah, I don't have a problem with socialized healthcare at all, or stuff like UBI, even the social safety net.
Who's going to pay for it, Jeff?
Since UBI is straight socialism.
I find it interesting that Jeff reminds us that he doesn't pay taxes, but then he's in favor of all these tax-funded programs. Is there some kind of connection with that philosophy?
I look forward to paying taxes.
Our current programs are
that's going to be a great milestone.
Our current programs are already tax funded.
I will feel like a true capitalist.
And it's funny if I were to find someone on their way to a restaurant, they said, "Hey, I'm going to go buy a $10 sandwich right now." And I said, well, hey, look, I got the same sandwich for $7 right here. Look at it. It's $7. It's right here. Look at it. It's the same quality. And it's right here. It's ready for you. Would they say to me, yeah, but how am I going to pay for it?
Oh, that's easy. Jeff will pay for it with his taxes.
They were going to the store to buy a $10 sandwich.
The answer is taxes.
I missed the example, I think.
That's how you pay for stuff, with taxes.
So it's funny because when you talked about socialized medicine, he said, well, how are we going to pay for it and you don't pay taxes? And I gave the analogy of if someone were on their way to a restaurant or a store to pick up a $10 item, and I met them halfway and said, wait, I got that same item for $7. And here it is right here. Look at it. It's the exact same item, $7. No one would be saying, yeah, but how am I going to pay for it?
Okay, but where does the other $3 go under this scenario? Who's covering the other $3?
Taxes to the government.
That's a loaded question because it considers that there's a $3 to cover.
There is $3 to cover. In the free if in a free market it's a $10 equilibrium.
I'm sorry.
Then the socialized system, it has to get the money from somewhere, or else the producer has to take the loss.
I just wanted to answer your question. Was that that $3 oftentimes is going to the top 1%, so it's coming from them to answer your question, and I'm fine with that.
Okay, that's not the case though.
What do you mean? Go on.
Businesses don't start delivering products at a loss. The government covers the bill, and they do that by printing money, which is just removing value from existing supplies. So they're basically just taxing people who have savings.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What I'm saying
I can
is that,
tell.
Yeah, what I was
inflation
saying
is what he's talking about. When you print money, that causes inflation. So that's why Venezuela dollars are not worth anything now. Is because they inflated it to the point where it's completely useless.
The $3 isn't coming out of the CEO's pockets. It's coming out of your grandma's savings account.
Yep.
No. No.
And your savings account and my savings account and anyone else who owns that worthless paper.
Oh, look who we got.
So FlowState, what would you say is the current state of the middle class in America now? Do you think that's important?
Dwindling.
Since everyone's okay and everything's fine, and we need more socialism, would you think the middle class agrees with those statements?
I don't know.
Is there a middle class? Did we completely destroy
That's
it?
a
I don't
good
even know
question.
anymore.
I mean, I think I'm barely hanging on to it, but I don't think that you can be employed and be in the middle class anymore. I think that that's a thing of the past. I work for myself, and that's really the only way you can do it anymore. It seems like.
I don't even think 2 income families can make it into middle class anymore. It's so weird. It's like the
I think
system's
there's
getting
less
rigged
than one
against them.
than I remember growing up.
Depends on how you define middle class, I suppose.
It's usually just a medium of the bell curve, like
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say I'm there, but it's definitely getting smaller.
There's definitely a surge in lower class and upper class, for what that's worth. So maybe the socialism stuff is working after all, and that's
As it's
exactly
supposed
what
to.
they wanted.
Have you guys cured the gay frog yet?
No, I
gay
keep
frog?
trying, but he says
No.
everything's fine. So how do
The
you
gay
prove that?
Everything
frog
is
is
fine.
fucking
You gave
deaf, and everything's still fine.
You gave examples that were not crises and not relevant to the present moment.
The elimination of the middle class is not a crisis?
That's not the examples y'all gave. You talked about the education system.
The completely failed healthcare
talked
system
about
is not a
paying 50%
crisis?
taxes.
The dollar has lost 93% of its value since the Federal Reserve, over 100 years since the Fed's been in place. It's
Y'all jump
happened.
around almost as
It's
much as
happened
we do.
already. It's happened. It continues to happen at an increased rate.
And it's not going back. It just keeps going down.
Yeah, I mean, you do
Well, that's
see
the-
you
that's
do
the
see the
new
prices
inflation
rising, don't you?
Okay. Yeah, the grocery store. Yeah, definitely are. I noticed that.
Okay.
I've been noticing that for years.
Right, and it's just
How
going to
about the
pick
cost
up.
of a house? Has that gone up recently? Over the
I
past
read.
30 years, 40 years?
A new truck costs $100,000.
Can anyone afford to live here anymore? Is that
Yeah.
important?
Trailer.
Is that a crisis?
I could probably afford a trailer in the woods.
Do you know how much a bunker in the woods costs these days, Jeff?
It depends if it's double wide, triple wide. They have all kinds of stuff. They
Do
have
you know
some
how much
that-
guard
that they're
towers
almost like
cost?
homes.
And dog pens?
Bro, I'll help you build a dog or a guard tower. Sounds cool.
And cisterns and septic tanks. This shit costs money, Jeff.
Would you settle for a ladder and a
We had
tree?
all that growing up too.
A ladder and a tree sounds good to him. He'll take it.
Sold. To the obviously not a Fed member.
I mean, I say I'm a Fed member. What are you talking about?
Hey,
That's
how
what
did
they
your
want you
appointment
to
go?
think.
I just realized you were here.
What's that? What'd you say, Jeff?
How did it go?
Long. Very long. I waited for hours just for them to just for nothing. It was ridiculous.
Oh, do you have government? Do you have government health care?
No, this was not government healthcare. This was government mandated because of what I was because I had an examination I had to go through. But
Oh, socialism at its best.
this wasn't a socialism thing.
Yes, it was.
It was for
Let me have it. Let me have it.
What? Let you.
I'm making a point here.
Okay. Hi, Jesse. How you doing?
What's the point? I missed it.
Yeah, I don't know either. And hello to Sterling. I've never met you before. I think unless you've been here for a different name, I don't recognize you.
No, I think Sterling's new. He's
Hey, what's up?
chatting.
Nice to meet you.
And there's this guy in the middle here, iPhi, I guess. I know it can't be iPhi because iPhi left and said he was never coming back.
Sounds
So
iffy because I flake a lot. Like
yeah,
one
I think
day
that
I'm
that'll
a
work.
capitalist, next day I'm a totalitarian socialist. You never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, I have a pretty good idea. Ooh, wow. Patty's coming strong and hard at libertarians today.
Well, anyways, I felt bad for Jeff because his panel was empty. So now that there's people here, I'll mosey along.
Oh, well, I'm kind of touched a little bit. I appreciate it.
She's exactly the type of piece of shit I don't want to pay for.
Where are you going, Jesse?
I'm traveling back to my city. Angeline and I live in different cities. She's 3 hours north of me. So I got an interview tonight at 6 p.m. Mountain, my time, 8 p.m. Eastern, with Sovereign Dave. So I had an interview, a really crazy interview this AM about this lady who has her. They're trying to take her kids from her, and she's done nothing wrong, and they put out a warrant out for her arrest, and they want to steal her kids, and the judge has like changed orders and all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of crazy this AM, and then now I'm just traveling and to make it back for my next interview. So.
Oh. I didn't know y'all lived in different cities.
Yeah.
After Talcott, who is on in an hour and a half, by the way, at 5 p.m. Central today.
He came on early yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, since he's been back, he's been kind of tinkering with his schedule. But I mean, normally around 8, 9 is typically when I go on. But yeah, subscribe, hit the bell.
That's Central Time?
Yes.
Oh, my connection keeps dying. Can you guys hear me?
Well, hi, Chuck. Hi, Flo. Hi, Chris. Hi, Jeff.
Hey,
See you
What up,
here.
Jesse?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Chris.
Okay, I'm just making sure. It just my connection keeps like, I don't know, it keeps screwing up. Anyway,
Jesse, I wish you luck tonight on that interview.
Which interview is it?
Sovereign Dave.
Oh, I don't know him.
What do you
Dave's
wish
cool
me
as
luck?
fuck.
I've done 662 interviews. What do you mean wish me luck?
Oh my God, can I be the 666 one? Do you already have it
No,
scheduled?
yeah, we're booked actually until the middle of May. Well, first week of May is booked, but I actually had some people fighting over, but the guy is a scholar out of Scotland who's going to be describing the meaning of 666 and the mark of the beast and all that kind of stuff. So he's going to go really in depth into what that is. That's going to be on Sunday at noon Eastern.
All right, well, he's probably more qualified for it than I am. But just barely.
Is that David Patrick Harry?
No, his name is Stephen Manning. We've interviewed him about 5 or 6 times already, and he used to be like, I don't know, like a priest or something, but he's no longer, and now he fights the government in Scotland and the tyranny, and just a fascinating, smart individual, and he really goes into signs and symbols and colors, how things all affect what's going on, goes in deep into the narcissism, positions
Today it says
narcissists would go
in
to, like
3 hours.
CEOs, politicians, surgeons. These are type of positions that people of the narcissist would kind of be in. So just a fascinating guy to listen to his teachings.
That's today in a few hours?
No, Sovereign Dave is tonight. He's the Flat Earth Dave, Sovereign Dave guy. That 666 is on Sunday at noon Eastern.
Oh, okay. That's the one I'm not seeing. I think my speakers went up. Nope.
Yeah, I keep having. I'm having connection issues. Is anyone? Can everyone else talk still?
I don't know. Sterling's good.
I can hear you.
It's a little wild. And that's like there's been like internet problems in general though. Last couple days.
Hey, I gotta jump off. Good talking. I'll be listening.
All right, later.
Was that FlowState?
That was FlowState.
I think he wears his earrings too tight.
Maybe.
Care to elaborate on that, Chuck?
What's that?
Care to elaborate on that?
God damn. Internet ain't worth a shit here. Get out of these mountains. Come on.
I'm traveling, so I might have been in a dead zone as well, but I was just wondering if you care to elaborate on that.
That was a joke. It's just a running joke with Flo. I always pick on him about his earrings. I think he's trying to transform into one of the mother beings. You
Other
know,
beings?
like Caitlin.
Oh,
Caitlin?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Him.
I'm trying to
her,
give
him,
you some.
her, him.
Yeah.
I remember as Bruce from the Wheaties.
Oh,
well,
you know
Frank,
that
you have to come up for it to be about you. The comments will only take you so far.
You know that liquid natural gas pause that Biden put on?
No, but I do now.
Well, from building any new facilities. Now they're talking about it's going to be a year before they approve anything.
Oh.
Yeah,
And
I remember we talked about it the other day. Yeah.
And guess
The
who
natural gas
happens to
thing.
be? Yeah, guess who's building new terminals as we speak? Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll be good.
So they have to stop building.
Yeah, because they put the pause on it.
Oh.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, it's like some sort of like shell game they're playing or something like that. I don't know. It's political football, you know. They're just trying to each side's trying to maneuver the other one to where
That's
they want
what
them.
so much of this sounds like to me. That's why I don't understand the like shock or surprise or like sense that the sky is falling over what sounds to me like just normal politics. That's going to happen anywhere.
So do you guys think that Texas is going to become like a Mexican standoff or what?
No.
I doubt it. I think there's about as much chance of that happening as there is them actually seceding from the union, which is like ridiculous that they're even. I've seen several places reporting on it like it's actually a chance of it happening. Like, I mean, it's not even going to get past like the state senate. I don't even know what they're worried about.
Yeah, I don't either.
Not to mention the fact that, I mean, it would literally probably cause civil war again. So, like, I mean, that would literally be like the kickoff of an actual civil war. Especially since there's like, I mean, like Texas is like a more of a purple state than it is a red state anymore. So, I mean, there's quite a few liberal people, you know, in the state as well. So, I mean, I don't, you got a lot of people that are maybe in some of the areas that might be for that, but there's a ton of liberal people that aren't. So I mean, I don't know. I just don't think it's I don't think it's all that much of a risk. What are the chances that Texas will finish the wall? I don't know. I know the wall was Trump's thing. I don't think the wall was really as much Texas thing as like as it was Trump's thing.
Frank, you watch enough of these panels to know.
I think it's sweet that she shows up and does that though. It's nice. They have a good relationship.
I just saw a video about the Texas wall, and they said they had some place that had some
Uh-oh. You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're going full on robot, Jesse.
You're roboting.
The moon monkeys got him.
Yeah, Domo Orgadio, Mr. Roboto.
With Jesse and Dave, I don't know. He's
It's
what
an
do you
interview.
say?
I don't know.
Sovereign Dave.
Yeah, he's a flat brain.
He's a flat earther guy.
Oh, a flat earther. Yeah, Jesse did go robot. So I don't know
Is my audio working?
Yeah, yours is working, Jack. I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you've cleared out your video and everything's working again. You kind of froze up there for a minute, Jesse. When you're
I'm better. Okay, so I was watching a video of this guy, and he was showing the border wall in Texas, and he was saying, "Look at where all the army and guards and cameras saying that they're securing it." And then he had a constant video, and he goes, just like half a mile up, he goes, "Look, there's a wide open hole right here with no guards. They had porta potties right there at the hole, and it was just wide open." And he says, a lot of what's going on, what they're trying to tell people about, is just for show.
Oh yeah, I've heard that there's the wall isn't that finished, and there's like huge gaps in it. I mean, I don't know what the whole this whole like razor wire thing is just like a I don't know. It seems silly, but
I watched some of the military guys were helping people over the razor wire. They were actually there giving them a hand and bringing them into the country over the razor wire.
They need to be shooting them.
I don't know about that.
Did you see what they did to those cops in New York?
No, I didn't see anything about any cops in New York.
There was like 6 illegal immigrants that beat them up, 2 or 3 cops.
No, I didn't know about that.
And they let the guys out, no bond.
It has been like, I mean, I do know, like, I used to work with some people that were here illegally, and I do know that in many cases, like, if like one lady, she didn't have a driver's license, she got pulled over all the time, and like they never gave her a ticket or anything for not having a license because she wasn't even a citizen, so like they just like would let her go.
So she could drive however she wanted.
Yeah.
See, it's that sense of injustice that I think
that drives the anti-immigration sentiment. Yeah.
Like she's getting a special treatment.
Yeah, she's getting special treatment because she's not here legally. It's like ridiculous because they don't really.
Go ahead. When I left Illinois, they were just starting to give driver's license to illegal aliens, and they didn't even have to take the test.
Yeah, because they can't give them the test.
That doesn't make sense. Like, why would they give a license to people that can't drive?
If they wanted them to vote.
Yep.
You have to have a license to vote.
Yeah, well, they just give them an ID.
They can issue state IDs.
They can use state IDs. Yeah, they don't have to give them a driver's license to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It's that super liberal thinking. My boy Donnie gets back in there, he'll straighten this up.
Well, he didn't do much the first time.
Well, he has to get through those trials first. 4 of them.
Well, if the Supreme Court rules the right way, those will come to an end real fast.
And I'm not even sure, like, the trials would prevent him from running or even becoming president, the way I understand it.
Yeah, I don't think.
it may disincentivize people for voting for him after
Well,
being convicted 4 times.
Sure. But I think he's got the Republican nomination locked up at this point.
Yeah, I think that's
does.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a mistake. I had more faith in the Republicans than that. They're going
I
for
just
what I
seen
think is the easy win.
I just seen a poll from South Carolina, which is Nikki Haley's state. He's up by 30 points.
Yeah. Yeah, there's like he's not even really a Republican, and he's more popular with Republicans than any other Republican. It would have been interesting if I heard that they reached out to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. about being his running mate, and it would have been
Oh,
interesting if
Lord.
yeah, and that would have been an interesting ticket, but they didn't. I guess RFK said no, so they were reporting that in the news a couple of days back.
RFK's a nut job.
I don't think he's any crazier than the rest of them. They're all insane, as far as I can tell.
Well, that's true. Hey,
Anybody who wants to be president's got to be half crazy. I mean,
at least with Trump, you know already you're getting a crook going in.
You're getting a what?
A crook.
A crook.
Corrupt guardian.
Yeah.
A crook. Oh, okay. I heard you.
Crook. Thief, you know.
Yeah, crook, yeah.
Trying to get out of this liberal city here before they kill me.
Are you driving too?
Tennessee?
Yeah, Nashville. Ever since the great exodus from California, Nashville went from red to purple.
Oh, I thought it was a lot of the Republicans in other cities trying to find a haven in Nashville.
Well, it used to be, but when all those Californians started leaving, going to Texas, a lot of them came to Nashville.
Yeah, a lot of them went to Austin and Nashville.
Yep.
You're right.
Yeah, I heard Austin was getting bad.
No, Austin's been blue for a long time. Austin hasn't been red in ages, so I mean it's nothing new really.
Well,
it's been a very liberal place for a long time.
Dallas has been blue for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been slightly more red than blue for a while, but it's more purple now.
Yeah.
It was definitely leaning towards Republican for a good couple of decades there, but it's definitely closer to being a blue state than it has been before.
Oh, I love Omarosa.
I think Houston. I think Houston is still pretty red, but
Houston's red.
Yeah, so is San Antonio, from my understanding.
I'm pretty sure it's blue. Very blue.
I haven't been to Houston in a long time, so I don't really know much about it. To be honest. I mean, even though I live in Dallas, like Houston's still like 8 hours from us, so it's still pretty far away. It's a long trip there. You have to go past Austin to Houston. And Austin's a far enough trip. It's like Texas really is huge in terms of like how much time it takes to cross the state.
Who's the white Liza? Who's Liza?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was you guys arguing about a while ago?
Who knows? Who was arguing? Was it iPhi or Flow?
Yeah, it was both of them.
It's something about because they complain about the government and how it's this evil monstrosity in their lives, and I kept saying that I don't feel like the government really kept me from living the kind of life I wanted to. And could y'all give me some examples? And they brought up ridiculous things like education and paying 50% taxes and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not stuff that affects me in my daily life to worry about. So we were arguing about that. Jeez. Like they think I'm stupid and naive because I don't pay 50% taxes or I don't have a kid in school or something like that. And so the government, I guess, is bothering them more than it bothers me in my day-to-day life. And so they're online venting about it. and I'm challenging them on it, and it's getting escalated.
I always find that these fellas that have trouble with things have had run-ins with them.
Yeah, exactly. Like FlowState's been arrested, what, 2 or 3 times? I haven't been arrested yet, so maybe I'll have a different experience when that happens. I think a lot of this, and I've said it before, is psychology. It's people playing out their psychological issues from childhood or trauma or mommy daddy issues onto politics or onto the government or onto the people in this panel.
Oh, now I will agree, government's way too big.
Yeah, it might be big, and healthcare is getting that way too, but it's not anything that affects me on a day-to-day basis. Like, regardless of its size, I don't have to interact with it much.
Yeah, I mean, I got those stormtroopers following me around, so I don't have an issue.
Following you?
I said I don't have any.
Oh, you don't have
police.
Any? Oh, okay. Yeah, please. Yeah, yeah. I don't really have that issue either. So
my philosophy is simple: don't break the law, you don't go to jail.
Yeah, it seemed pretty simple to me too.
I mean, that's pretty hard to understand, though, Jeff.
I mean, I'm a complainer. It helps me to complain. If I have any kind of run-in with the government or the system, whatever, you can believe that I'm going to be on here complaining about it for days and days, probably. So the fact that I do complain when I have a reason to, and the fact that you very rarely hear me complain about the government, that's how little I interact with it.
Well, you need to get out there and join the movement.
The what?
Wow. I just blew my ear out.
The great experiment. We're in the experiment. The United States has always been an experiment from the beginning, and we've kept it going for 200-something years, and I still think it's a great experiment.
Oh, I do too. It's not perfect.
No, but I'm not ready to give it up for any. I haven't heard anything that makes me want to trade in for it.
No, not see anything.
You mean you can't go for Talcottism?
No, not absolutely not. There's not enough.
What the hell's wrong with you?
It's not. I don't think it's a healthy world. There's not enough conflict. What movie were we watching? It's called The Curse on Showtime, and we'll probably finish it today. We're about halfway in. It's a very strange, movie. I'm not sure what I'm watching.
It's not really a movie.
Halfway in, I still don't know what I'm looking at. No, it's more like very subtle, dark comedy, like satire, maybe.
It's a satire for sure.
It's a liberal. They're like super liberal, funny. Like one of these obnoxious liberal couples. It's
oh Lord,
Nathan Fielder,
Nathan Fielder,
and
Emma Stone,
and they're like this. They're like eco. They're all into save the earth, and they build eco-friendly homes, and they're trying to bring their vision or their message to this community, and build an eco community.
But it's really making fun of them, like really hard.
Yeah, but it's really satirizing those. They're so subtle at how they portray them, and nothing really happens. It's kind of like Seinfeld. It's a movie about trying to make a movie about nothing.
Oh boy,
it's kind of like Curb Your Enthusiasm a little bit. It's got that kind of cringe comedy
and
to it.
A little bit of
Christopher
Guest mockumentary too.
Yeah, it's shot really, really well, and it's really well acted. But at the same time, personally, I was laughing out loud at it. I was die laughing at one part, especially one scene in the first episode.
Did you know that was Corbin Burnson?
No, I did not. That was Corbin Burnson. I did not realize that was him at all. Oh, that scene was so fucking funny. The whole lead up to it, everything from like when that whole like segment starts, like it starts out with like a kind of a shot that you don't expect to see whenever it clearly cuts for like what would be normally like a commercial break, and it comes back in and it opens up in a shot that you don't expect to see, and then it just kind of goes into this whole thing, and it kind of unravels this I can't to say anything more spoils it, but it's totally like watch the first episode if you like that kind of cringe comedy, kind of thing. I mean, it's very funny, but it is
What the-
definitely you have to have it has to have the right kind of taste for it. It's
What's the name of it?
it's called the Curse.
On The Curse. Okay, on Showtime. Yeah, I heard they had a new episode of Curb coming out in a few days. Is that
new
right?
episode of
The
what?
12th?
Yeah, Curb's got a new season coming out too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Curbs.
Curb
Curb
Your
Your
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, season 12.
Yeah.
I heard it's supposed to be the last one.
He does it every time though. It's always the last season of Curb, and then like they'll wait
That's
5
true.
years and he'll come back. He
That's
comes back
true.
into another season. So I think Curb Your Enthusiasm doesn't really have an end date until like Larry David's dead.
We have it. It's on Paramount. I have it, Frank. So if we're in there later, in fact, I'll be free after I end this, and if you see us in there later, feel free to stop by. We're like 4 episodes in, but I don't even know if you've missed anything because nothing really happened. There's nothing to miss. It's kind of meta comedy and meta satire. There's not really a lot of plot.
Yeah, it's about they're trying to get an HGTV series. Like, but the only thing that's happened in the show so far is that the first episode's like them filming the pilot, and there's 2 episodes where they're waiting on hearing from them. In the 4th episode, they hear about the series, and that's where the show's at right now in terms of plot. That's all the plot there is really.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of tiny things like they're like Curb Your Enthusiasm type, like little like side plot type things that happen there. They're just like one scene or
You
2
can
scene
wear
type
whatever
things.
you want because you probably won't even be on camera anyway. And
yeah, we don't have our cameras on.
We're going to be watching the show over you anyway. I minimize everybody. I don't even see the people. So
Right.
Yeah. No one's even going to know you're there. And we watch it on mute because sometimes there's an echo.
Atman Lenses. That's a new one. I haven't seen you before.
Yeah, we have a new viewer today, and it looks like he's a fan.
All right. Way to go, Jeff.
White supremacy looks good on you, Jeff, he says. So I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't either.
I don't think we've ever said anything white supremacist in our
Where
life.
does any of it come from?
That's another group that ought to be put down.
Hell, Satan, baby. That's right. What group? The white supremacist? Supreme?
Yeah.
There's so few of them lately. Like they're not even worth worrying about.
And they're stupid. Anybody who thinks that white people are superior
you have a white supremacist haircut. Well, I'm keeping it for sure now.
As long as you don't put a swastika on your forehead, we're okay.
I don't know how to do that. I don't trust my artistic abilities, and I don't know if my barber would do it. I found out my barber is Jehovah's Witness.
Oh Lord.
No, she's great. I love it. Like the whole we get along great, and
Jehovah's Witness is a weird. It is a weird religion.
The other day they were talking about it, and I thought about it for like half a second, and I'm like, she's still a great barber. I like her. Why would that change anything?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't change anything for me either.
We have a good.
Did Hank show up today?
No, he did not.
Yeah, I haven't seen Hank today, but
no Hank.
I didn't see the first.
But he's on like all 10 or 20 other streams throughout the day.
Well, I know a bunch of them were up late last night.
Yeah,
till about till about 5 o'clock this morning or something like that.
Yeah, and machine play went pretty late. I'm sure. I had to go to bed because I had to get up early today so I could wait in a waiting room for 6 hours or however long it was. It felt like that long. I hurried up and I had to hurry up and wait for.
Are you home? Are you in for the night?
Yeah, I'm in for the night. Yeah. It was just it was kind of far away. I had to drive close to about 45 minutes north.
I drove 2 hours to get to my doctor.
Yeah, you had to go doctor in Nashville?
Yeah. Just for a 2-minute appointment.
Yeah, that's basically what. Well, the appointment itself did take it was like one of those things where I waited like 3 hours in the waiting room to go into the exam room, and then I waited so long I fell asleep in the exam room, and then they finally the doctor finally came in, and she was a complete bitch guy. She was so mean. I don't even know why. I don't know if she was just in a bad mood or whatever, but she was really short with me the whole time and asked me all these questions and stuff like that, and I answered her questions, and then she was like, "All right, I'm done with you. You can leave." I'm like, "What? What did I do?" I think she was just like, I think
did you forget to shower? Did you forget to take a shower?
No, it's nothing like that. I mean, she was just like I heard her. She was like that with the other patients too. It sounded like, 'cause I could hear her in the other room. Like whenever I was waiting, like I heard her like talking to somebody else. And
wow.
I guess she's just like, that's just her personality. She's just like a mean person. I don't know. She was very. And so I've never had a doctor be like, "I'm done with you. You can leave," before. It felt so cheap.
Damn.
A piece of meat.
I don't let my doctors do me that way. It's a,
Well,
that's
I'll
a
never
collaboration.
see this doctor again.
When they get too authoritarian with me, I don't. I either end the appointment or get someone else in there.
I don't. No, you're not going to tell me. I came to you for some answers. You're not going to treat me like shit.
I didn't have much choice.
I had one doctor when I first moved here. We fought. Like, he was yelling at me, and he left the appointment, and he had the medical assistant come in and finish it. He said he was too worked up to even come in and finish the appointment. I'm like, damn, what did I do to this man?
What'd you do, Jeff? A reach around?
He just what he was telling me wasn't matching what I had Googled before I got there, and I was saying, well, that's not what Google says.
Oh shit! There's your.
Yeah, doctors really don't like that. That's true. Doctors really do not like it whenever you tell them what Google says or something.
Well, I'm sorry if he doesn't like being challenged. He can't be my doctor because I'm not going to just take his word for it. I can do my own research. Hey,
what's that site? WebMD.
I don't know. That's one of them.
Yeah, that site is the bane of a lot of doctors' existence.
Man, you sound like a good family member. We used to do that for people when we lived in Vegas.
I think part of the problem
is the airport taxi.
I think these medical professionals, they have to see so many patients like back to back to back to back to back. Just to make ends meet.
That's their problem.
Yeah. Well, it's when we're those people in the office, is our problem too.
Well, yeah, I know, but I used to work in those offices, and I've seen doctors that can manage it, and some that can't. But it comes down to the individual doctor and their bedside manner. But if you can't deliver a good service, then your practice is gonna suffer for that. Like, you better be a really good specialist at whatever your expertise is to counter it. If you're just gonna run people like cattle.
Yeah, I went to a urinologist guy. Oh, that was horrible.
A uronologist or
urologist.
Urologist. There you go. He didn't mess around, buddy. He was all business.
I don't mind them being all business, but this was like a doctor. This was a court appointed doctor thing. I had to go see this for the disability hearing, so I didn't have any choice in the matter.
Okay.
Was
this for your disability? One of the ones for the disability? You think you're gonna get it?
I don't know now. She was, but she was. I think that was just the way she was towards everybody, though. So I'm not worried about it.
There's where the attitude came from.
Maybe so. I mean, but I would have to. It seemed like I don't think I was the only person there for that kind of an appointment. So.
Well, I never had to go through all that, thank God. Well, they just gave me mine and said, "Have a nice life."
Yeah, that's. I know, because I know you talked about it the other day. It's kind of like it's good that you didn't go through all that, but at the same time, it lets you know how messed up it was, right? So.
Yeah, my friend's trying to get it, and he acts like it's just gonna be easy peasy, and we're trying to tell them that that's not the case.
Oh no.
No, you're talking about 2 or 3 years away.
No.
It has been for me.
Get denied once or twice. They told me it's very common. Or
Yeah, no, yeah, pretty much they took my lawyers told me
shit.
that they pretty much they deny everybody the first two
Yeah.
two appeals,
okay,
pretty
yeah.
much.
and then until
Heard.
basically they force you to go to the judge, go all the way through the judge because there's been so many applications since COVID.
Oh shit.
But there's no link. But there's no link between those things. There's no link between those. There's no such thing as vaccine injuries. Certainly not.
Well, that might be the topic to end on.
Yeah. I don't think that I don't think that vaccines are bad. I'm just saying that people have been hurt by them.
Okay. Well, I want to try to keep my show. They were. iPhi was pushing it earlier with the.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't hear anything from that. Just for you said you just looks like Angela Merkel, huh?
Oh, does it? Well, good. If you have acne, please hit the like button. We're running a research study here.
Well, I've heard going 0 to 70, but this 70 to 0 shit on the interstate is crazy.
Yeah. Well, we have traffic like that here.
Must be an accident.
There's like an accident every day in the I-30.
Yeah, I'm on the I-40.
Oh, well, be careful.
Yeah, the I-30 has like an accident.
Like two moose.
Moose? We don't got no moose here.
We had a moose. He drove by. He did a drive-by greeting.
A drive-by? Yeah. Oh, you talking about Moose, Mr. Moose?
Yeah, producer Moose.
Yeah.
God, how many moose are there?
I don't know. That's the first one I ever met. Yeah, he stopped by my little town when he was passing through.
I know you guys talked about that. You guys actually met in person. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. We got our wires crossed on what we were doing, but it was okay.
That's all right.
And now we have Jeff. Time to eat.
Hey Jeff, how's it going, man? Out there, Jeff. Hey,
we might be
better than Viagra. All right.
We might be in the Discord finishing that series. If y'all want to join us.
Yeah, we should be. So you're welcome to come by the Discord.
Yeah, and you can bring your food. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow. Same time. Tomorrow's Friday.
All right, fellas. I'm going to get off here. I got to deal with this traffic mess.
Okay.
Yeah. Drive safe.
Sure, guys.
All right.
All right. See you guys later. Bye. Nice to see you, Sterling.
Thank you for coming on. We're here every day. Drop by anytime.
Yep. Anytime at all.
And Chris and I will see y'all tomorrow.
Yep. Bye.
There we go. Okay.